Hello, I'm Joey Haskins, and welcome back to You've Never Seen, in which I showcase a movie you've probably never seen before. Actors are an essential part of the film industry. That seems obvious, but the idea of a really good actor coming around is rare. A really good actor can take a role and act good in it no matter what, whether they be dramatic or comedic. But a lot of actors in the industry do end up getting typecast in a lot of roles. Which is sad because it doesn't give an actor the opportunity to show their range. But on the off chance someone sees your range, then an actor will be asked to play a different role than they're used to. This is called playing against type. I feel like it happens a lot nowadays, like putting Jim Carrey in a dramatic movie or seeing how funny Robert De Niro can be. But casting against type was used sparingly around the early days of Hollywood, so when it was used, it made the movies pretty unique, which leads into this week's film. Don't Bother to Knock is a 1952 film directed by Roy Ward Baker and based on the novel Mischief by Charlotte Armstrong. Richard Widmark plays a pilot who's just been dumped by his lounge singer girlfriend after she says he lacks any empathy whatsoever. His girlfriend, by the way, is played by Anne Bancroft in her first ever film performance. Anyway, she kicks him to the curb, but he comes to the hotel she's singing at to try and fix things. As he sees that he has no chance, Widmark retreats to his room and immediately tries to woo the girl he sees through the window on the other side of the hotel. The story in that room is that a couple is staying at the hotel for a conference with their daughter. Since they can't take their daughter to the conference and they can't keep an eye on her, they go to one of the hotel bellhops who offers to bring in his niece to babysit her. That's where Widmark's character comes in, as he meets the babysitter and tries to get with her. But the longer he continues to interact with her, he sees that she's very troubled and traumatized. Widmark plays the average Joe character in this movie really well. He's rigid enough where you get what his girlfriend was talking about when she says he has no empathy, but he increasingly grows kinder as the film goes on as he sees just how troubled this babysitter is. He's more or less meant to be reactionary to the babysitter's actions. And as for that babysitter, she is the one who's played against type, and is performed by this lady. And no, your eyes don't deceive you, that is Marilyn Monroe. She's just a year shy of becoming the most famous actor in history, and unexpectedly plays the antagonist of this film, and really well. Although she had been in many prominent movies by this point, Don't Bother to Knock is her first co-starring role. She's the highlight of the film itself. Her character has recently lost a fiancé in the Second World War, and she's gone in and out of trauma facilities to get better, with her most recent stay seemingly working. But when she meets Widmark, she's reminded of her fiancé and pretty much becomes delusional enough to believe it's him. This not only negatively affects Widmark, but it also affects the little girl she's looking after. It's the scenes between Monroe and the little girl, or with her bellhop uncle, where she shines at being antagonistic. She straight up threatens the kid, and then later ties and gags her. And while I do label her as the antagonist of the movie, she's by no means a bad person, just really traumatized. As the film goes on, you do worry for her character, and when her actions become more erratic, you wonder if it will lead to someone's death, or worse, her own. But it's through her character that Widmark is able to grow as a person and finally show some empathy for people. And in the end, you do feel bad for Monroe's character, hoping that maybe she's gonna be okay. Whether or not Monroe would have portrayed different roles like the one in this film in the future, we'll never know, unfortunately. But Don't Bother to Knock does give us a glimpse into her range, especially when she didn't need it. By the end of 1952, she was labeled the It Girl, and the rest, as they say, is history. Contemporary reviews of the film, especially ones by Marilyn Monroe fans, would say Don't Bother to Knock is one of her most underrated roles. It's very watchable, and as I said, she is the highlight of the film. Check out Don't Bother to Knock and view the blonde bombshell just before she became the Hollywood icon. You can watch the film on DVD by checking it out at your local library. With Weston Media Center, I'm Joey Haskins, and I'll see you all next time.